What up, y'all? It is your boy Darius, and I'm back, y'all. So we have a special video we're gonna react to, y'all. How did Tupac destroy his image by doing this? Cause Tupac, man, before 50, man, there's always Tupac, man. He don't give a fuck who you are, man. He'll call you out if you say something disrespectful towards him. So R.I.P. the late great Tupac Shakur, man, or show our condolences towards them. So let's check this out, y'all. Let's get it.
When one considers the long list of talented people the world has lost far too soon, Tupac Shakur's name is unavoidably near the top of the list. Shakur was one of the genre's founding fathers, having made his claim in the mid-1990s.
Even in death, Tupac Shakur is one of the best-selling music artists of all time.
25 years after his terrible death, the world continues to honor his memory.
Shakur's death at the age of 25 remained a mystery for decades.
The mysterious and brutal circumstances surrounding his death tell us that this was no ordinary enemy, but with success, hate is inevitable. Yet, who would hate Shakur so much that they decided he didn't deserve to live? In the hip-hop industry, every word you say and every lyric you sing could be the reason you're on someone's hit list or enemy radar. Similar things happened between Tupac and Chino. Some people believe it was an exaggerated beef, others think it was a huge deal in itself. You can decide what you think once you find out what happened. Chino XL dropped his song, Here to Save You All,
I'm trying not to get fucked like Tupac in jail. You could hate me.
in which his lyrics mentioned that Tupac was raped while he was in jail. We don't know if that statement is a known fact or if it's just an
Yeah, and even Wendy Williams, she did like I guess like an interview, said that Tupac got raped in jail. So maybe that's where Wendy got that information from. So we don't know if that's true or not.
exaggerated rumor. What we do know is it definitely offended Tupac. Tupac openly criticized him after the performance of his song Hit 'Em Up.
Chino XL, fuck you too, all you motherfuckers.
In an interview, Chino XL said he didn't want to talk about the beef too much because he had already talked a lot about it. He shared a personal experience with Tupac on Venice Beach before his death and expressed that if he had known his lyrics would have offended Tupac, he wouldn't have said it. Chino XL was a fan of Tupac and the Outlaws, so everything was straight, although there is no confirmation if the beef was ever officially squashed or not. The beef between De La Soul and Tupac is a forgotten tale, but let's dig into buried skeletons to find out what really happened. De La Soul's 1993 video for Ego Trippin' aimed to spoof mainstream rap in the early 90s, which often depicted rappers flossing expensive jewelry, fancy cars, outrageous mansions, and a revolving door of female acquaintances. However, the irony was that most of the time, they didn't own any of that or had a harem of scantily clad women tending to their every need. The New York trio, Paz, Dave, and Maceo, was on the other end of the spectrum, toting conscious and eclectic hip-hop that spoke to more intellectualized segments of the hip-hop demographic. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, Tupac was delivering his own brand of street-smart gangster rap, catering to the superficiality found in popular rap. Ego Trippin' video was interpreted by Tupac as a blatant diss to what the West Coast legend was doing at the time. Specifically, he thought that they were spoofing his I Get Around video. Despite Paz and Dave saying in a 2010 interview there was indeed a misunderstanding over the video, Maceo asserts it wasn't beef, but admits that they would have done things differently today. Maceo explained it was never meant to single out Pac. He believed if Pac was alive today, he would be saying the same thing that they were saying back then. However, he does say it was a blunder on De La Soul's part. Since De La's seminal album, 1989's 3 Feet High and Rising, the group has always been about having a sense of humor and maintaining that they never had any malicious intent whatsoever. Do you think they meant to disrespect Tupac, or was it just a joke that went horribly wrong? Death Row Records was initially a stable partnership between Treach and Pac, with a video released for California Love. However, Pac's arrival at the label influenced Treach's decision to leave the label. Pac needed everything at once, and Dre was a perfectionist. In an interview, Pac expressed dissatisfaction with working with Dre, claiming that he owned it against all odds and dedicated a verse to him. Tupac also claimed that Dre cheated on his wife. After Tupac's death, Dre continued to play California Love at concerts, and Tupac's part was sometimes read by other rappers. In September of 1996, Tupac Shakur and Snoop were in New York for the MTV Music Video Awards. Snoop did not attend rehearsals or record a song with Tupac on Saturday Night Live, leading to an East-West feud. Tupac and Suge Knight were furious as they had been recording songs dissing each other. An uncomfortable flight back followed, and Snoop was initially afraid for his life. The two rappers separated, and Tupac was fatally shot just days later without an opportunity to settle the argument. Prodigy, in an interview for Vlad TV, explained how the conflict with Tupac began with Snoop's video of kicking over New York buildings was disrespectful.
Snoop felt some kind of way, like if you've seen the footage.
Mobb Deep responded by defending their home state and city. Tupac mentioned Mobb Deep several times in his songs, but the most memorable one was in Hit 'Em Up. After Shakur's death, Prodigy said they didn't have problems with Tupac, but he took offense to it. However, it's not really where the problem actually started, but that was a seed planted in Pac's mind. LL Cool J was an inspiration for Tupac, as evident in the song Old School. In '95, LL released I Shot Ya. Reportedly, the conflict could have also resulted because of Pac's girlfriend, Kidada Jones, who had been dating LL for almost 2 years before his death. In 1997, LL recorded a song produced by Puff Daddy in which he referenced Pac, Love Tupac. Tupac's original song, Lil Homies, released in 2001, closes with the lines, "Check out the man gone, I'm out, I can't."
Telling the world to be equipped when he's young.
Jay-Z, a fan of Tupac, was a mutual friend of Biggie before the beef. However, when the conflict between Biggie and Pac began, Jay-Z continued talking to Biggie, causing tension between them. The Outlaws advised against this conflict as it was only between Bad Boy and Death Row. However, a feature with Biggie, Who Shot Ya, like Sinatra and Peruvians, angered Pac. Gene Deal recounted how Jay-Z didn't want to leave his hotel room to meet Tupac, who knew where Jay was. The song Dead or Alive Part 1 features lines like, "I don't know when to let go and let young souls die."
I don't know when to let go and let young souls die.
Some believe it was recorded a month before Tupac's death, while others believe it was not. DJ Clark Kent claims that the main diss record Pac was never released, but it was performed live at the Apollo once out of respect for his death.
Yeah, it never got released, but he performed it.
Kent said Jay did a record going after Pac, but just as it was about to come out, Pac died. In 2002, Jay-Z collaborated with Beyonce Knowles to record '03 Bonnie and Clyde, a song that sampled Tupac's Me and My Girlfriend. In 2009, Jay-Z donated $25,000 to the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation, along with Valletta Wallace's mother. Despite rumors he was supposed to be on the Better Days album, but it didn't work out. Outlaws members, however, have argued that Pac still had tension with Jay-Z until his death, resulting in his demise. Records report that Tupac and Nas were on good terms, but everything went down the drain and Nas became involved in the East versus West Coast beef, which Tupac wouldn't have liked. They met at the House of Blues, where Tupac told Nas he was not involved and that he shouldn't get caught up in it. Tupac listened to Nas's song The Message, and he remarked that it sounded like Nas was talking about Tupac, implying that his luck was slow. In 1996, rapper Tupac released a song called Troublesome 96, which may have been a diss on Nas. Nas felt Nas stole his beat when Nas used the same beat on Street Dreams that Tupac had used in All Eyes on Me on When You See Me. However, the beef would apparently be squashed at the 1996 MTV Video Music Awards in New York. After it was squashed, Tupac committed to removing his attack on Nas from the song, but he was fatally shot only 2 days later. Nas was in the middle of a live concert when Tupac was pronounced dead.
Tupac Shakur passed away, y'all.
Nas reacted to the incident by stating that he had only come at him once on a song called Against All Odds. He cried when he heard it and compared his music to his music since Trapped and rhymed with Digital Underground. He believed that his music gets in the hearts of many people today, even though they don't listen to him. He praised Nas for his incredible music and the sensationalism he brought to the music scene. Tupac and Biggie were good friends, everybody knows that, but how did they end up becoming each other's worst enemies? How did that happen? Well, Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls were two of the most talented hip-hop rappers in history, dedicated to exposing the truth of life on the street, social injustice, and the racial divide. Tupac entered the music scene 2 years before Biggie, and their friendship began when Tupac asked Biggie to be his manager. They had mutual respect and enjoyed freestyling together at the 1993 Budweiser Superfest in Madison Square Garden. However, Tupac believed Biggie had a hand in the 1994 gun down, which occurred when Tupac was gunned down in the lobby and shot 5 times. After that, Tupac joined Death Row Records, which cemented the East Coast-West Coast rivalry between Knight's label and Combs' Bad Boy Records. He accepted a place on his Death Row Records roster, which led to the rivalry between Knight's label and Combs' Bad Boy Records. There was never proof that Biggie or Combs knew about the incident, but a couple of months later, Biggie's B-side single was a track called Who Shot Ya, which led to Tupac's response with the song Hit 'Em Up, in which he claimed he slept with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans. The punches continued to be thrown throughout their short lives, each side blaming the others for their deaths. After Tupac's death, Biggie wanted to put an end to the whole coast-to-coast fighting, as they had waged a coastal beef that made the whole West Coast hate the whole East Coast.
Made a whole West Coast hate a whole East Coast, and vice versa.
Tupac had many ups and downs throughout his short-lived career, but he kept his enemies in check. Which one do you think was the biggest feud of Tupac? Was there anyone who had the strength to bring down one of the biggest names in the hip-hop history?
Yeah, Tupac went at everyone, man. Yeah, Tupac, Biggie, man. Recipes to both Big and Tupac, man. I just wish didn't happen in the first place. I think Tupac should have had a conversation with Big, and the Addison did. Biggie had something to do with the Quad Studio incident. Because I'm definitely gonna be doing the Tupac versus Biggie Who Won's Battle episode once I reach 100K. Because that's gonna be a lot of research I'm gonna do. Because I gotta do a lot. I gotta look at interviews, diss tracks, books. So it's gonna take me a while because I want to make sure this is right. You know, I don't want to do a half-ass. You know. So hit the comment below, guys. What y'all think? What was your favorite Tupac beats of all time? I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.